Hey everyone, welcome back to Mrs. Cáceres English class. We are going to start our day by having all of our materials ready, our textbooks, our notebooks or binders, whichever you use for my class, and we will begin by putting down the correct heading. Remember to write your name, be it your first name and your second name or your full name, date, English class, Mrs. Cáceres English class, whichever of those you prefer, grade and section. Remember to leave a space for your title or topic of the day. Your objective for today is to analyze folk tales and uses of humor such as exaggeration and irony. And our I can statement is, I can recognize irony in literature. Now, remember, if you guys need more time to take note on this, you can always pause, like I did, and come back to my YouTube channel as well and watch it as many times as you like. So, this week we begin a completely new story. The title is Two Legs or One, which is actually a question. It's a folk tale retold by Josepha Sherman. Our essential question remains the same for Unit 2. What can blur the lines between what's real and what's not? Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is working on our quick start activity, which you can put in your notebooks or into your binders. Remember, you just have to write quick start and the page number. Our quick start activity says, what can motivate someone to trick or fool someone else? Write down your thoughts in response to this question. Really think about that, guys. What gives someone the motivation or, even the need to trick or fool someone else? For example, Halloween is coming up, so, there's a possibility that some people might want to scare others. Why would they do that? What motivates them to do something like that? Playing pranks on people or jokes on others, really think about that motivation. Now, once you're done with the quick start activity, we go to analyze folk tales. Do you guys know what folk tales are? Well, folk tales are stories passed along by word of mouth from generation to generation. Two Legs or One is a folk tale that would have been shared as an oral tradition for a long time before it was written down. Folk tales vary among cultures, but many teach life lessons about values such as honesty or behaviors, such as helping the poor that are the central to the culture of origin, the culture in which the folk tale was first told. As you read, think about what life lessons this folk tale is trying to teach about values and behavior. Now, there are certain elements that fall into the genre of folk tales that we should focus on. They are usually set in the past and are based on an oral tradition. They often show the importance of cultural behavior and value. They often focus on a problem that needs to be solved, and they may feature supernatural characters or events. Now, one of these things that is different for most folktales, because they don't all include them, sometimes they feature a trickster. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys what a trickster is. In a folktale, the main character may be a trickster, or a character who goes against acceptable behavior and fools someone. The trickster's motive may be selfish, or it may come from a desire to help others. The trickster may succeed or fail. The trickery may be discovered, or it may not. In any case, there is a life lesson to be learned. When you meet a trickster in a folktale, ask yourself, what can we learn from this trickster? So I thought a video on what is a folktale would also help you guys understand a little bit more about the elements that come with a folktale. Remember, if you need to take notes, just pause at any time or come back to my YouTube channel whenever you need extra resources.
Today we will learn, what is a folktale? A folktale is a fictional story that has been passed down from person to person for many years. Sometimes there are many different versions of a folktale. You may have read these folktales before. Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and the Three Little Pigs. Most folktales usually have animals that act like real people, a lesson or moral, and a problem that gets solved in the end. Folktales can come from all over the world. There are African folktales, Chinese folktales, Native American folktales, and even Latin folktales. Now that you know a bit more about folktales, let's read one. A Nancy and the Magic Stick, written by Eric A. Kimmel, illustrated by Janet Stevens.
So, Anansi and the Magic Stick is a folktale that you guys might be interested in reading. Your choice if you want to. But we're going to be reading our own folktale in our own books, which is the story of Two Legs or One. Okay. So, another thing we have to remember in this story is that there's going to be a lot of humor. So, we need to learn how to analyze that. Like many folktales, Two Legs or One features humor. Humor is what causes us to laugh or to be amused. Humor may come from plot, events, characters, words, or the language a writer uses to tell a story. These are some techniques writers use to add humor to a story. 1, they include surprising characters or events. 2, they use exaggeration or extreme overstatements. 3, they use irony, a contrast in which the reality is the opposite of what it seems to be. 4, they choose words that create amusing mental images. And 5, they include clever and insightful dialogue. Humor can influence the mood and tone of a story. Mood is the feeling or atmosphere that a writer creates through the use of descriptive words, imagery, and figurative language. The tone of a literary work expresses the writer's attitude towards his or her subject. As you read Two Legs or One, look for humor in the folktale and analyze the techniques that are used to create that humor. Then think about those techniques that influence mood and the tone of the story. Okay, so that is the beginning of what we'll be covering in our story for this week, or folktale to be more specific, Two Legs or One. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what you guys think about the story. Have a great day. Bye.